My question is, perhaps it's a bit taboo, but the homeless situation, how is that been addressed?
You know, it's a difficult one to address because it's a public building, you know, and so we can't just say you can't hang out here. But again, with the behavior policy, you can't sleep here. You can't leave belongings unattended here.
We deal with how people like reserving desks for themselves.
You can't reserve a table and then go away for 3 hours and come back. So we're working on some of those things. If we see belongings that are unattended, we're removing them now. And you know, and we are working with the police. You know, there's a couple of people that are in really unfortunate situations, and we're trying to help them get into a better situation. You know, so it is an issue, and we have such limited space, particularly in our adult area, that we want everybody to feel comfortable using the space. So. Again, as Becky said, if you notice something that we're not noticing, please do let us know about it.
It is much better than when I first got on the board too. There was fights between the homeless people at the old building, and I witnessed them, and they were, you know, like literally fist fights. And that has gotten a lot better.
We know there's still a problem, and we're still working on it. It's a virtue of being on a train line. You know, every library that I know that's on a train line has an issue.
And I've worked with a few libraries in this area, and it's a problem pretty much everywhere. We haven't had. I had somebody, homeless person, OD on drugs and pass out in the libraries. We haven't had that, thankfully.
Not at
the Grange.
The library where you work.
Yeah, no, not where I work. Katie, do you have another one?
No.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on electronic books? Sony and Kindle and stuff. It seems to me that that's just what are your thoughts?
This summer we added a new service called Media on Demand, which primarily has downloadable audiobooks, so you can listen on your iPod or MP3 player to an audiobook. But it also has some music, some video, and some ebooks. And we know, of course, Christmas time, if you listen to the radio, they were pushing Kindles and they were pushing Sony ebook readers and the Nook and that sort of thing. And so we're kind of monitoring that, whether or not we need to buy more ebooks. We haven't had a lot of demand for that yet. But we do offer some ebooks for checkout with your library card. And you don't even have to come into the library. The virtue of the Media on Demand service is that you go to our website and you put in your library card number and you just download it to your device, whether it's your ebook reader or your iPod. And then the even better thing is that you don't have to return it. In 3 weeks, it returns itself electronically.
And this brings up a good point from the trustee perspective. I want to talk about how we can afford to do things like this. We are very fortunate that we work with the other libraries in the area through the library system, and we bundle. And we do that for our databases. When you go, you can from home search all our databases. You just need a library card and type in your number. And so we work together when we get reduced rates because we all go in together and get one fee on that. Same with this Media on Demand. And that's why it's also so important for the trustees and everyone in the community to be doing advocacy at a state level for the libraries, because the funding for the systems keeps getting slashed. I mean, it's getting to a really bad situation. And to the point that the system had to lay off quite a big number of people. But they don't want to...
No, not everybody might be familiar with what system
means
from a library perspective. In Illinois, there are 9 regional library systems that provide support to libraries. And that comes in the form of a variety of different things. Staff training, if you're familiar with, you may be familiar with the term SWAN, if you're a library user, where you get books from other libraries, that's supported by the system. The delivery of the materials from one library to the next is done by the system. So that's what, when she's talking about system funding is being slashed, that's what's at stake.
And the state gives them that funding. So that's where and then the members we pay a membership to be in the Metropolitan Library System. But, that's where the advocacy needs to be, because they're going to be, the trucking now, we don't pay beyond our, regular fees, but they're talking about possibly having to charge us for, the items delivered. And we use the library. You just put in your request, and in 3 to 5 days, your book shows up at the Grange. No, that's a great service, and
It
people
really
need
is
that.
the best use of taxpayer
Right.
dollars, because we could never, even in the size of that new building, have everything that everybody wants, and to cooperate with 80 other libraries is really great.
I was just curious about, so this ebook reader, that's pretty
Okay.
interesting. So can you, so like, I don't know, Kindle's the example, so does the library get the book, like on a, some,
It would
like
be
through
on
a
your
Kindle, and
screen.
then you can, get the book personally from the library onto your Kindle?
We
or no?
Not
pay
yet.
we sort of pay for a license to it. So
Okay.
we don't actually have it electronically. It's on a server somewhere. We're
Right.
licensing it from a company. And we're paying for a one user at a time license, just like a library book, so
Wow.
that while it's checked out to you, Katie can't read it, but as soon as your 3 weeks expires, it automatically gets returned and Katie gets an email that says it's
Next
available
person
for
in
her
the
to
queue
check
gets it.
out.
But for now, it just goes to your computer screen. Can you download it to your Kindle if you have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the thing about
If you
the
have it, we
ebook
don't have it
readers.
for you to check out.
Right.
The three different ebook readers, Sony, surprisingly, is not proprietary. So we learned something from the Betamax fiasco. So the Sony ebook reader is not proprietary software, and different publishers can publish to it. The Amazon Kindle is proprietary. You must buy your books through Amazon. Barnes & Noble is also not proprietary. So there's different formats, and it'll be just like the beta versus VHS thing, debate. Eventually, one will win. But since they are still working that out, we haven't. Some libraries have actually purchased the devices, like the Kindles, and will check them out to people preloaded with certain titles on them, for instance. We haven't done that yet. We're kind of waiting to see which format wins, if you will. And in some ways, it's kind of like us buying DVD players for you. Buying the devices is maybe not the role of the library. The library's role is to buy the content, and then you play it on your device.
And we really wait to hear from the people. I mean, we barely had any DVDs when I started on the library board. And then we started, people really wanted us to have DVDs, and we said, Hollywood Videos across the street at the time. So we didn't want to have a lot. So we tried to get like the award winners and the ones that were harder to get. But now that there is no more video store, in the Grange, we still don't have, all the big blockbusters.
Actually, we're really trying to get those.
And
you won't see them because they're on hold.
they're on. And we don't have the largest collection because, we don't, it's not as big of demand in LaGrange, but we really listen to people. And the video games, same thing. We didn't even start talking about it until we had multiple requests. And then we did like an informal survey of the most popular platforms. We're not buying the Xbox. We have the Xbox games. We don't have a DS to loan out. We have the games. And we only bought on 3 platforms, and we used friends' donation money. And it's been extremely popular. But we really listen to people. I try to use the money in the way that, a large portion of people want it.
Are your ebook offers, how do you find out what ebooks you have versus, is there like
You can go on our website and choose Media on Demand,
okay.
and everything's right there.
From Media on Demand, it might even say downloadable audio, but there are some ebooks on it also.
Ebooks are cool. They do just disappear. It's very weird.